In this video, I'm going to be discussing Amazon AWS and all the different services that it provides. Amazon AWS is like a cloud computing platform provided by Amazon for individuals, businesses, etc. And it has many different services inside of it, which I'll go over. But cloud computing does have a really big benefit. Security, cost savings, mobility, and more. So right now here in AWS, I'm at the EC2 dashboard, and EC2 stands for Amazon Elastic Compute Cloud. It's one of the services, one of the many services, and this is where you can kind of make what you call instances. So I'll go ahead here and I'll launch an instance. So this is like I guess you're just creating a virtual machine, or you're just kind of creating your operating system and everything. So when you go to launch an instance, you can choose your AMI, your Amazon machine image, and there's operating systems of all kinds here. You can see we have Mac, Linux, many different types of Linux, Windows Server. There's probably even Windows 10 and stuff, but the list just goes on and on. And so we can just pick one here. Then there's a bunch of different instance types which come with like different hardware requirements, memory requirements. Basically, it really depends on what you're doing. If you're a big company, you have one of these larger instance types. If you're, just an individual, you might have one of the smaller free ones. And then you can configure your number of instances, you can configure your network, your subnets. There's a lot to Amazon Web Services, which I'm going to show you, or which I'm showing you at the moment. But yeah, then you can add your storage, the size, the volume type, is it encrypted, and whatnot. Security groups, you can allow and deny certain types of traffic. And then you'll have an instance that you can launch. So we'll just go ahead here and quickly create an instance, a free one. Don't have to worry too much about it. So we're just going to launch this instance. So yeah, you gotta create or choose a key pair. Just choose an existing one I have, and then we can go to view our instance, and basically we're gonna try to remote into it. So we're gonna try to remote into the instance now. So if you open up something like PuTTY, which you can use to remote in, and we're gonna use SSH here. We can remote into our Linux machine here. Oh, I gotta figure out the login for that. Oops. Let's try that again. EC2-user. So now we're in our machine, and just like a regular Linux machine, we can just use it now and configure it to be whatever we want to be. So in the past, I made a website which I was going to remake, and it was hosted using AWS. So we can do all the configurations in this, and it's basically our machine. We're paying for it. It's just running though in an Amazon data center. So we'll just close out of this here because I want to go over the other services. If I drop down to the service menu here, you can see there's so many different services, and I just showed you one, which is EC2, kind of I would say one of the main ones, because that's where your machines are running and everything, your instances. Another very important one is VPC. I believe it stands for Virtual Private Cloud. Yep. So here's where you can do sort of all your networking for your instances, like your routing tables, your internet gateways, NAT gateways, security groups, ACLs, you know, like for example in Cisco. So you can, you know, even firewalls, VPNs, you can do everything here. Um, so in the past, you know, I've had like multiple, a private network, a public network, and whatnot. Different rules for different types of traffic. So there's a lot of different things you can do in here. AWS backup will allow you to back up your instances and all your services. Anyways, I wanted to cut and forward on talking about my website. Because I was rambling on a bit there, and I kind of also wanted to go in detail about my website because it's created using AWS, and it's like a good example I guess I could use. So obviously I have an instance running on Red Hat, Red Hat Linux that is. Um, so if I go here, I'm remoted into my, I guess my web server. This is where my website runs. Um, so for example, you know, if I see here, if I stop the HTTPD service and refresh my site here, we're gonna see that it's not gonna connect. Um, Obviously, if I go ahead and start it back up, it should work again shortly. So let's see. Yep. So you can see it came right back up. So this is essentially where I control my website. If there's anything wrong, you know, here I can take a look. I have all my like HTML, WordPress files all here, as you can see, all the configurations done. So usually HTTPD and the MySQL services are the two services, or no, not MySQL, sorry, MariaDB. That's what I need to have my website running. So you'll see if I stop this, I should get a database error of some kind. Yeah, and then if I start it back, my website should be good. But yeah, I thought this would be a good practical example. So I have an instance, like I showed you guys how to create the instance, and I have like SSH rules, so I can putty in using SSH, and this is basically where it all runs. And I have a free trial or something, so I'm not actually paying. But if I refresh here, we'll see my website came back. I also have a self-signed security certificate. And yeah, so this is just my website. And so yeah, that's just one of the many ways where you can use AWS to create stuff, and that's just something I wanted to share of how my website kind of works, I guess you could say. But I think that's all for this video. I just wanted to do kind of like an overview of Amazon Web Services and talk about EC2 a bit more, and as that's like I guess the service I've worked the most with, because I used it to create my website, obviously. But yeah, that's pretty much it.